All right, let's go ahead and begin. Just as I said earlier, turn in projects, vocab, and workbooks in right away. Projects and vocabs in as soon as possible if you haven't already for your grade. Don't want to not turn that in and get zeros on those. We've got the notebook checks and our next online test coming up soon before the quarter ends. And then let's get to our questions. Number 1, what climate types are in Florida? 2, what climate types have low precipitation? And 3, what climate type is known for its severe weather? What's it going to be? If you guys have answers, you can tell me them in the chat. Angel, did you know number 1 maybe? We have mostly mild, right? And then what about Miami and the Florida Keys? Yes. So as you guys see in this picture here, this way, okay, we can see in this map right here, most of Florida is going to be mild, which specifically is going to be what, as you can see it up there, Angel? It's going to be what specific subtype, though? Humid subtropical, right? That's the subtype of mild that we are under, right? Mild, humid subtropical, temperate. And then the green area is that swampy, humid subtropical area. That's Tampa Bay is in the middle of that. But the part that is tropical is this South Florida area that includes, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and the Florida Keys and some of the Everglades. So that is the only part that is tropical. Number 2, did you remember what 2 climate types are low precipitation? Yes, dry and polar. Dry is pretty obvious, but because of deserts. But polar is actually going to be, despite all the snow, it's a frozen desert. It doesn't snow a whole lot. When it does, it just stays there forever. So that's what the polar environment is. And the last one that you saw there, what is going to be where we have extreme weather like tornadoes and thunderstorms? Continental, right? So those are going to be the different climate types we've discussed. Again, as we saw earlier, how does each one differ? What are some of the ideas and the specifics on those? So take a moment for a picture if you haven't gotten it already. Let's go ahead and move on to our table of contents. Let's skip that. We did that already. Again, just as a reminder, don't forget that on your climate graphs, after you do the bar and the line graphs, you need to answer these 7 questions. Answer these 7 questions on your regarding your line and bar graphs. We mentioned that earlier, and I've explained all that in a previous video about the climate graphs. Let's see. Here we have 14 and 15, guys, are going to be climate change and natural impact. Go ahead and add that to your table of contents. And when my in-person students are ready, we'll do our first card question of the day. Give me one moment, guys, one moment. Okay. Let's see here. All right. One moment. Just getting the question set. I'm almost ready. Okay. Here's our first question, kind of based on what we mentioned yesterday a little bit. El Nino involves what kind of water, while La Nina involves blank water? Is it A, are both cold, B, warm and cold, C, cold, warm, or D, warm, warm? What kind of water do we get with El Nino first and then La Nina? Again, think about that interaction. When the boy talks to the girl, what's the typical answer there? See what you guys think. Great job, Angel. Got the right answer. Let me go ahead and see our chat. Again, please answer the question in the chat. Lakia, thank you. Diego, thank you. Michaela, I'll announce the right answer here in a little bit. We need more participants, guys. Again, Lakia, Diego, Michaela, that's all I have so far. I need more than that. I think where's Yorkies at? Daniela, Isaac, Sanaya, Tatiana. Oh, thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you, Joseph. Yorkies, thank you. Got 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Sanaya, thank you. So which one's which with the water? All right, let's go and check it out. Our student said B, warm, cold. That is correct. Again, typically in TV shows and movies, the boy, goes up to the girl, tries to talk to her, he's being warm. And then the girl gives him the cold shoulder, maybe denies him, maybe not wanting to talk to him. So the answer is going to be El Nino's warm, La Nina's cold in the very beginning, right? It changes later on. That kind of changes. I want to give shout outs to Angel, Sanaya, Yorkies, Daniela, and Michaela and Lakia for getting the right answer. Great job. Great job. Let's go ahead. I want you guys to go to page 15, and I want you to make a T chart. You're going to make a T chart. Okay, it's page 15, page 15. Okay, we're going to make a T chart for El Nino and La Nina, right? So go ahead on the left side. I want you to write this for El Nino. It doesn't need to be a big T chart, just like maybe 1/3 of the page, if that. So again, I'm going to wait till in-person students are ready, and I'll explain more. So left side is going to be El Nino, right side is going to be La Nina. I just want to do a full breakdown of the differences, right? Because we had that little kind of initial with the video question, but I want to definitely break it down more specifically. Yes, the bullet points are in the top. That'll be the left side. I'm going to give a moment for my in-person students, and then we'll talk more. All right, guys, so just so we know again, El Nino is warm. We said that already. Can you hear me? Just so we said, El Nino is warm. We know that already. Remember, after she gives him the cold shoulder, he's going to be trying to play it off at cool, but he's kind of sweaty, so he's wet. And then also keep in mind, he's got weak trade winds. Again, if he's going to talk to her first and see if she is cool with him, right, he's going to be the weak one in that situation. He's seeking her acceptance of maybe being friends, right? Or yeah. So let's go. If we know about El Nino, La Nina is the what of El Nino, Angel? The opposite, right? So here on the right side of our T chart, here is La Nina. Keep in mind, who talks to first? Yeah, the boy talks to the girl first. So always know Las Niñas, happen after El Niños, Los Niños, okay? So La Niñas are going to be after, because remember, the boy talks to the girl first. Remember, if he's trying to talk to him, okay, keep in mind, she's going to be the one with the strength. She's going to be the strong one, because he's trying to talk to her, right? So in nature, in the ocean, again, she's stronger. Okay, and it's just the opposite of everything El Nino. She's being cold at first, but eventually she's around him more, gets to know him more. She's going to eventually, like we talked about, she's going to eventually warm up to him, be friends with him, right? Warm and dry. So that's the idea. Now, in a second, I want to show a video. We know the differences. Now I want to get into what the definition of El Nino and La Nina is totally. What is it? Is it the ocean? Is it a storm? Is it the wind? What is it actually, right? So let's watch a quick video that's going to help explain that for us. We know the differences, but what is it overall? Quick 2-minute video.
Warmer or colder than average ocean temperatures in one part of the world can influence weather around the globe. Boggles the mind, right? Here's how it works. During normal conditions, trade winds, which blow from east to west, push warm surface waters towards Asia, piling it up in the western Pacific. In some years, though, the trade winds weaken. The warm surface water moves eastward and reduces upwelling of cold water off the coast of South America. Climatologists call this El Nino. Its climate impacts show up mostly in the wintertime over North America. The warmer ocean fuels an intensification and southward shift of the jet stream. This brings flooding to the southern United States and warmer, drier conditions over parts of the Pacific Northwest, northern US, and Canada. But eventually, those trade winds pick up again and sometimes become even stronger than normal. When that happens, they blow the warm water back into the western Pacific and restart the upwelling of cool water towards the surface in the eastern Pacific. These strong trade winds are a signature of what is called La Niña, unusually cold conditions in the tropical Pacific that displace the jet stream northward. La Niña can lead to drought in the southern U.S. and cooler temperatures, heavy rains, and flooding in the Pacific Northwest. El Niño and La Niña together are part of a cycle that influences extreme weather and can impact food production, water supply, and even human health, not just in the U.S., but in many parts of the globe.
Okay, and let's see specifically how those are both going to impact different parts of the globe. Well, with this clip as well here.
In the western United States and Central and South America, the warm air and moisture lead to increased storms, rainfall, floods, loss of life and property, and the increase of some vector-borne diseases like malaria, even in places where they don't normally occur. In Southeast Asia and Australia, the opposite takes place. These areas suffer from drought, wildfires, and colder ocean waters. In 1997 and 98, the world experienced the biggest El Niño in recorded history. Some estimates blame that El Niño for 2,100 deaths and $33 billion in damages. Mongolia saw temperatures reach 108 degrees Fahrenheit, there was record flooding in Peru, and the U.S. saw storms in the Gulf Coast, flash flooding from California to Mississippi, and tornadoes in Florida. Scientists are now better able to predict if and when an El Niño event will take place. This helps communities better prepare for the changes in weather patterns and better adapt to its repercussions.
All right, so we can kind of really get a good glimpse of what it is and the impact of it, right? So specifically, just to define it, give it a definition below your T-chart on page 15. We're going to say this. It equals trade winds moving cold and warm water, cold or warm water, across the Pacific Ocean, which changes climate all across different regions of the earth. So if you've got, wet and cool winters in the South, in the U.S., you might have warm and dry weather in the northern part of the U.S. during the winter. Or you saw there in South America, we had storms and flooding. And then in Southeast Asia, you got droughts and wildfires. So again, it's just how the wind moves that water. Because you got to know, guys, the shallow water is warm because it's exposed to the sun. But if the wind's really strong from La Nina, the wind's really strong, all that cold water comes up from the lower parts of the ocean. And that's going to cause it to be really dry near where the cold water is. Because cold water is difficult to evaporate. It doesn't evaporate, which is going to make it dry. If you didn't already know, guys, if you go on the West Coast, like California, Oregon, the ocean is very cold. It's a cold water current. And we have warm water. So warm water evaporates easily, and it makes a lot of rain, because we get a lot of rain in Florida. But in California, it's more wet there. It's same temperatures, a little cooler, but also drier, a little drier in California, because they've got cold ocean water. We've got warm ocean water. Last topic I want to get into is called upwelling before we finish up. Okay. So this is from La Nina. This is when that cold water goes up and it makes it nice. It makes it dry instead of with all the moisture. We call this process upwelling. Let me go and show you a video before we write our last definition of the day and get started on our review. So what is upwelling? Let's take a look here with a quick 30-second clip.
Every few years, the El Niño phenomenon kicks into life in the Pacific Ocean. Firstly, we need to know what's normally happening in the tropical Pacific. This vast stretch of ocean
The winds
sees
blow?
consistent winds, called trade winds, that blow from east to west. These winds push warm water near the surface in their direction of travel, so the warm water piles up on the western side of the ocean around Asia and Australasia. On the other side of the ocean, around South and Central America, as the warmer water gets pushed away from the coast, it's replaced by cold water,
The
which
cooler
is pulled
water,
up
right?
from deeper down in the ocean, a process called upwelling. This creates
Okay, so that is upwelling. That's caused by La Nina. Because does La Nina, is she have strong winds or weak winds? Nope, she's strong. Remember, she's the one denying the boy, right? Telling him no. Anyways, so go ahead. That's our last term of the day. Upwelling on page 15, below where we go, El Nino, La Nina. Okay, process where that deep cold water rises due to the strong surface winds from La Nina, right? So give you guys a moment for that. And let me make sure, 1 second. So when you guys are ready, we're going to start our review game and call it a day.